Heracles' story starts with a bit of Greek mythological history. So, Perseus, a legendary hero, had descendants, right? Among them were King Electreon and Alus. Now, Electreon had a daughter, Alcmene, who was set to marry Amphitryon. But here's where tragedy strikes. Electreon dies, leading to Alcmene and Amphitryon's exile. Then comes Zeus, the top god, who fancies Alcmene. Disguising himself as Amphitryon, Zeus seduces her. This is where it gets wild. Zeus extends one night into 3 by telling Helios, the sun god, not to rise. That's how Heracles was conceived. But it's not all straightforward. Alcmene also gets pregnant by the real Amphitryon, resulting in Heracles having a twin brother, Iphicles. So Heracles is born from Zeus's affair, and Hera, Zeus's wife, is not happy about it. She really disliked Zeus's mortal children because they were reminders of his infidelities. Moving on to Heracles' early life, he faces Hera's wrath from the get-go. Hera's jealousy of Zeus's infidelity kicks into overdrive. She tries to prevent Heracles' birth by messing with the goddess of childbirth, Eileithyia. Hera makes Eileithyia sit cross-legged with tied clothing, delaying the birth. Meanwhile, Hera ensures that another baby, Eurystheus, is born prematurely, making him king instead of Heracles. But Alcmene's servant tricks Eileithyia, leading to Heracles' birth. Then, fearing Hera's revenge, Alcmene exposes infant Heracles. But Athena, Heracles' half-sister and the protectress of heroes, brings him to Hera. Unaware it's Heracles, Hera nurses him. When he suckles too strongly, causing her pain, Hera pushes him away, and her milk sprays across the heavens, forming the Milky Way. Heracles ends up with supernatural powers from Hera's divine milk. He's eventually returned to his parents. Heracles, originally named Alcides, was renamed in an attempt to soothe Hera. The name Heracles means Hera's pride, or glory. At just 8 months old, Hera sends 2 giant snakes to kill him and his brother in their chamber. While Iphicles cries, Heracles grabs each snake and strangles them, playing with them as if they were toys. This act astonishes everyone, including the seer Tiresias, who predicts an extraordinary future for Heracles, including defeating numerous monsters. Heracles embarked on the famous 12 labors as a penance for a tragic mistake. Hera, always hostile to Heracles, drove him into a madness that led him to kill his wife and children. To atone for this, the Oracle of Delphi advised him to serve King Eurystheus of Mycenae for 10 years. During this time, Eurystheus assigned Heracles a series of challenging tasks, initially 10 labors, but later 2 more were added, making it 12. These labors showcased Heracles' incredible strength and courage. Heracles, a famous figure from Greek mythology, embarked on many adventures, including the renowned 12 labors. His first challenge was to defeat the Nemean lion. This lion had a coat of gold that no arrow could penetrate. Heracles figured this out quickly and decided to block one entrance of the lion's cave. He then entered through the other side and managed to strangle the lion to death. Afterward, he used the lion's claw to remove its skin and wore the hide as a trophy. His next task was to defeat the Lernaean Hydra, a serpent-like monster with multiple heads. For every head cut off, 2 would grow in its place. With his nephew Iolaus's help, Heracles burned the stumps as soon as he cut off each head, preventing them from regrowing. He buried the immortal head under a rock to ensure it wouldn't trouble anyone again. Then, Eurystheus sent Heracles to catch the Cyrenian hind, a deer so fast it could outrun an arrow. After chasing it for a year, Heracles finally caught it while it was asleep. The 4th labor was to capture the Erymanthian boar alive. While on this quest, Heracles visited the centaur Pholus and accidentally caused the death of Chiron, a wise centaur, with his poisoned arrows. He trapped the boar by driving it into heavy snow. A different kind of challenge was cleaning the Augean stables. These stables hadn't been cleaned in 30 years and were filled with filth. Heracles cleverly rerouted 2 rivers to wash away all the dirt. Then came the task of slaying the Stymphalian birds. These birds had bronze beaks and metal feathers and were terrorizing a forest. Athena helped Heracles by giving him a rattle to scare the birds into the air, making them easier targets for his arrows. Heracles' next adventure took him to Crete to capture a rampaging bull, which was the father of the Minotaur. He successfully caught the bull and brought it back to Eurystheus. For his next labor, Heracles tamed the man-eating mares of Diomedes by feeding their owner Diomedes to them. Heracles was then tasked with obtaining the belt of Hippolyta, the Amazon queen. Initially, Hippolyta agreed to give him the belt, but Hera caused a misunderstanding that led to a battle. Heracles ended up killing Hippolyta and taking the belt. In another task, Heracles had to retrieve the cattle of the giant Geryon. On the island of Erythea, he killed the two-headed dog Orthrus, the herdsman Eurytion, and Geryon himself. He then had several adventures while bringing back the cattle. Heracles also had to steal the apples from the garden of the Hesperides. First, he found out the garden's location from the old man of the sea. Then, he tricked Atlas into fetching the apples for him while he held up the sky. Heracles managed to get the apples and escape by tricking Atlas into taking back the sky. The final labor was capturing Cerberus, the guard dog of the underworld. Heracles overpowered Cerberus without using weapons and brought him to Eurystheus. Beyond these labors, Heracles had other remarkable adventures. He faced Antaeus, a half-giant who was unbeatable as long as he touched the earth. Heracles defeated him by lifting him off the ground and crushing him in a bear hug. He also encountered the Egyptian king Busiris, known for his cruel practice of sacrificing all his visitors. Heracles broke free from his shackles and killed Busiris, putting an end to his terror. Nessus, a centaur, plotted a devious revenge against Heracles in his final moments. He tricked Deianira, Heracles' wife, into believing that a shirt soaked in his blood would ensure Heracles' undying love. Years later, troubled by rumors of Heracles' unfaithfulness, Deianira sent him this shirt, not knowing it was laced with the poisonous blood of the Lernaean Hydra. When Heracles wore it, he suffered unbearable pain. The shirt stuck to his skin, ripping his flesh. Realizing there was no escape from this agony, Heracles decided to end his life. He built a huge funeral pyre on Mount Ida, and his friend Philoctetes set it ablaze. As the fire engulfed him, something extraordinary happened. Heracles' mortal body was consumed by the flames, but his divine essence emerged, free from earthly pain. In an incredible twist of fate, Heracles ascended to Mount Olympus, where he became a god. There he even made peace with Hera, who had made his life difficult. In Olympus, Heracles married Hebe, Hera's daughter, and they had two sons, Alexiares and Anicetus. This union cemented Heracles' place among the Greek gods and heroes. Heracles' impact on Greek mythology is profound. His tales of heroism, his struggles, and his ultimate rise to divinity have left a lasting legacy. He symbolizes strength, the will to persevere, and the ability to overcome great challenges. His descendants, including kings and heroes, carried on his legacy, ensuring that the name of Heracles remained revered through history. Heracles' journey wasn't just about battling monsters. He also played significant roles in wars. He was instrumental in the first sacking of Troy, which happened a generation before the famous Trojan War. He went to Troy to save Hesione from a sea monster. After defeating the monster, Heracles was betrayed by King Laomedon, who didn't honor their agreement. This led Heracles to return with an army, including his friend Telamon, and successfully sacked Troy. Heracles' life ended tragically. After defeating the river god Achelous, he married Deianira. During a journey, a centaur named Nessus tried to abduct Deianira. In anger, Heracles shot Nessus with his poisoned arrows. Nessus, in his dying moments, tricked Deianira into believing that his blood could be used as a love charm. Deianira later used this blood on a garment for Heracles, not knowing it was poisoned. When Heracles put on the garment, he was consumed by unbearable pain. Unable to find relief, he built a funeral pyre and ended his life, ascending to Mount Olympus as a god. If you found the story of Heracles intriguing, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support enables us to continue sharing these captivating stories. Remember to hit the bell icon to get notifications about our latest videos. Thank you for watching and joining us in exploring the rich tapestry of Greek mythology.